Hello everyone, this is Angela from The Chaotic Life of a Planner. So I do realize that July is halfway over, nearly, but it's just how it's going these days. So in today's video, I am going to walk through my July setup for my budget pages. I'm also going to show you how I use the new Paycheck budget sticker kit from Caffeinated Cait, which I'm really loving. So let's get to it. So I have here in front of me my Erin Condren Sapphire binder. If you guys watched my uncoiling video, then you know that I uncoiled my deluxe monthly and put it in my binder. Now I have a little update for you. So I've been using this for a few days now. I do not like this. If I could do it over again, and I may see if I can take this coil clip off, I'm not sure how that would work. I would use a small coil clip here and a small coil clip here so that it would connect to these two outer sets of rings and not the center one. That might work better. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how I would do it. And also the problem that I'm having is every time I open and close my binder, sorry, I just whacked my tripod, these fall out. Now it may be because I don't have that many pages in here right now, but I'm wondering if I should have used the medium size pocket rather than the large. But for now, I'm just going to leave it and we'll see. I'm sure as I get more stuff in there and it becomes a little tighter, it'll be okay. But here is something that I did change, and I want to show you guys this because it definitely works a lot better. So, excuse me, I told you guys I wanted to still have a cover in my binder because I really like the personalized options and I like to change the cover. And now a cover will work nicely in this binder because this is pretty much it's not very colorful. It's just there's not a lot of competing colors here, just the darker, sapphire and then the lighter blue. So many covers will match with this coordinating color versus the colorful kaleidoscope that has like the aqua color, which this particular cover would have been fine, but many would not. So you can probably see what I did is I took just a regular hole punch. Let's see. Just a regular hole punch and punched the holes. Let me see if you can see that a little better. Made the holes that actually go onto the clips bigger. That doesn't show up very well. Maybe if I do it here. So you can see these four, these two, and these two. And I did the same for the back cover. And what I'm finding is it's working much better. So you guys know that before, when you just had the regular binder pages in here, that you had to kind of grab them all to close the binder to get it to close properly. Well, now I don't have to do that. It's totally fine just like that. And I like, see what I mean? They just slid over. So I like the fact that the cover is smooth now. So that was definitely a good idea, and I would recommend that you guys do that if you're planning to use a cover as well in your binder. And also the back cover acts as that page lifter so that your binder will close smoothly now. So there's my handy dandy tip for the day. Excuse me. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to show you is my sinking funds and transaction log. I told you guys that I wanted to be able to move that to the front of my binder, and I like it much better in the front versus in the back. So I don't have a lot going on right now. I'm really hoping that next month we can start hitting our sinking funds hard. Even if we just start with each sinking fund and just put 10 bucks in every payday, at least it's something and it will get us into the habit of using sinking funds. Now I do have my pet expenses, and then we also have market animals because I'm trying to keep track of what we spend for market animals. We do make the kids pay us back for some of it once they actually sell their market animals, but we don't make them pay for the whole thing. It's kind of just our contribution to them. You know, we don't, well, I'll just leave it there. We don't make them pay us back for all of it, but we usually do make them pay us back some. Now, there's been years where Benjamin's had enough money to purchase his own market animal, so he has actually made the purchase, and then we've made him pay us back for, like, well, if it's a turkey, maybe one bag of food or whatever. But this year it just worked out that we paid for all of the animals, so I'm not sure what that will look like later, but I do like to keep track, and they do have to keep track as well for their record books of how much they spend and what they buy, yada, yada, yada. So that's why I've got that done. I just realized I needed to write one for my house renos because I did buy some paint and a ceiling fan that we needed to replace and stuff like that. So I'm hoping next month that we can really start actively adding to this. So I need to get another little page marker. The next thing I have is my debt tracker, which I still have to fill out some of that. And then we will have a snowball this month. I mean, it's not going to be giant, but it will be something, which is what I'm aiming at. Okay, the next thing is my July budget. Now, if you guys remember, I did have this already filmed, and then we lost that footage when I just think that it accidentally got deleted off memory cards when we were dumping cards in Disney. Excuse me. We've had so much wildfire smoke, it's just made me be a little bit congested. It might be clearing up. We've had some rain in the last couple days, but I'm not sure. So, how I do this is I start my income. I actually would really like it, and I think that Kate may have asked this question on her Facebook page, and I need to go back and answer it. I wish these lines went all the way over to the edge for the income. For my particular budget, it would look better, but and it would be nice to have maybe like an over-under as well. So we have 3 sources of income. We have my husband's retirement, and then we have his job, and then I just have a spot for variable. You guys know that he doesn't necessarily like me to list his income, so I usually just leave that blank, or I cover it up, and then I fill it in later after I'm done showing you guys all my budget videos. So then I have fixed expenses. These are expenses like my mortgage, my car payment, car insurance, the electric bill, credit cards, heating, fuel, things like that, that would not change no matter what. If he lost his job tomorrow, we would still have to cover these bills. These bills over here in variable expenses are ones that can change. You know, we could cancel them if we needed to, stuff like that. So over here I have things like our cell phone bill. I have any subscriptions that we have. I even put groceries and gas over here because we can pretty much all cut down our grocery budget if we absolutely have to. So I put that over here. I put, you know, my spending money. I put our internet. We don't have cable, but we do have things like DirecTV, Hulu, Netflix, Spotify. So all of those could be canceled if we needed to. It wouldn't necessarily be fun, and the kids would be really cranky about that, but we could. And I also put, like, in this particular instance, I needed to get some airfare for Liberty, who's going to DC for FFA. And then we have the nice truck repair, which I'm not going to talk about that right now because I'm really cranky about it. So that's what I have here. Then we get into the monthly page, and I've told you guys before, I stopped using the little date covers. I can't even remember the last time. Let me see. Oh, it's been a while. A good long while. Okay, February was the last time that I used the date covers, and they're pretty. It just makes it too chaotic for me. I mean, even March, like if I had used them in March, that would have been terrible. April as well. And you can see most of the times when I have a lot of spending that I have to record, it's because I didn't pull out my cash envelopes, which is not very good of me. However, I did pull out cash this payday, so I'm happy about that. So anyways, this is where I track bills. So I use the bill due stickers. Caffeinated Cait has the auto pay as well as the little checkbox right here for you to just check it off when you manually pay it. And then I also track my spending over here. Like I have this little key, so I do groceries, gas. I do have clothing, but I'm not going to track it over here. So I'm going to be redoing this key pretty soon because clothing is a sinking fund. So I would track that in my sinking fund transactions. Then I have household, beauty, and beauty as well. Beauty is a sinking fund too. So I don't really need to track that over here. And then I have weekend fun. So you will see, yeah, I'm just thinking. So pretty much most of these are bills. And then I have I had a few spendings for groceries here. And then today is actually Saturday the 13th. So I did go to the commissary yesterday and I did pull out $200 in cash for groceries because that was my budget this pay period. But I don't remember how much I spent at the commissary. So I need to go count how much cash I still have in my wallet and then update that there. So, and then over here, I just have like some bigger expenses that we might have to do. Like I have my daughter's baby shower this month. We had the 4-H exchange trip, which we've already paid for. Then we have the FFA DC trip. So I checked that off because we've already paid for all of that. And then I had some house renos that I wanted to do, like paint, and I have all of the paint and stuff to finish that. The living room has been done. We haven't done the master bedroom yet, and I'm in the middle of painting Michaela's room. I have to do her room like one wall at a time, essentially, for a couple of reasons. And I wanted to do flooring in my bedroom, but I don't think that's going to happen this month because we're not going to have the money due to the truck. And then I wanted to replace some trim, so the trim actually might happen because that's not going to be very expensive. And then I have a couple of things that I wanted to cancel, subscriptions, and then I need to call DirecTV. We have DirecTV now, and all of a sudden my bill went from like $40 to $68. So I need to call and ask them why and how that happened. So, and I haven't checked that off yet. So that's how I do that. Next, you're going to see my weekly check-in, which, let's see, I should have done a weekly check-in on the 4th. I didn't. I'm not too upset about that. It's mostly because we had the Texas kids here and it was crazy. And then I still need to do my weekly check-in for the 11th. I'm thinking about actually changing my weekly check-in dates to having them be on Fridays. I do them on Thursdays because Thursdays is when my husband gets paid from his full-time job, but I'm just not sure. So I might be changing that soon. But anyways, so I didn't do a week 1 check-in. I need to do my week 2 check-in. I'll probably do that this weekend sometime. So that's how I do that, which you guys know if you've been around here for a little while, the weekly check-in is like my nemesis. I am terrible at it. It's extremely important, and it's really what I need to be doing to keep myself on track. But I ride the struggle bus express like on a weekly basis when it comes to weekly check-ins. And I don't know why. It takes like 5 minutes, but I'm terrible at it. So over here is a spending tracker that I have, and I don't know why I put these weekend fund monies over here because they should have went over here, but I'm telling you, it was crazy. When the Texas kids were here, I loved it. We had a great time. I haven't laughed that much in so long. Like there were so many times that we were all laughing so hard that like we thought we were going to wet our pants. Like it was a blast, but it was like crazy from the minute our eyes opened in the morning until we went to bed at night. It was absolutely crazy. So like none of my regular stuff that I normally do every week got done. So what I usually will track over here is my spending money because I don't pull that out in cash because I like to be able to order stuff online. So I am going to open my own account. I've been using Chime and I love Chime. I should probably even leave a link to Chime in case you guys want to try it. But what is not working for me is I don't have a regular job, so my money doesn't get direct deposited in there. So I have to transfer money from our joint checking over to my Chime account to use for my spending money, and it takes a couple of days. Sometimes if it's over the weekend, it takes more than a couple of days, and quite frankly, I'm not that patient. I really just need to get over it and just either use Chime or open a new account, but I haven't done that yet. So for now, I've been tracking it over here, but my husband doesn't really want me for my money to come from joint checking because it's hard for him to keep track of what everything is. So the other thing I track over here is kids travel. I do have some household stuff over here. And I probably will continue to track household over here because I like to know what it is that we spent it on. But there's that. But I guess I don't technically, if I had my act together, I wouldn't need this spending tracker because I could use it over here. But this is how I do it, and so for now it's working. So I'm not going to pay attention to this paycheck budget one because it was not. I'm actually probably going to just cover it. Oh, it's not going to work. Let's see. I just don't want it to be distracting from this over here. So this is where I actually did this paycheck budget in the way that it, I'm trying to zoom you guys in a little bit, that it should be used. So one of the reasons why I moved from the coiled deluxe monthly and I moved that into my binder is because I want my paycheck budget to be able to take up a whole page. So now I covered those things up, and I'm going to uncover them because I want to show you guys what my paycheck budgets, just in case you're new to my channel and want to see what my paycheck budgets looked like before. Okay, so here's a paycheck budget from before. I had to hand draw it. It had to take up 2 columns, and it just was not pretty, and it was not easy to keep track of it. So, but I had to do it that way because I did not have enough pages in my deluxe monthly. So I decided to move over to the binder. And now I can add pages in here as I need them. So my paycheck budget can actually take up an entire page, and I can use the kits how Cait has made them to be used. There we go, let me cover that up. So what I've done is I've got our income right here, and our expected and actual is going to be the same except for maybe variable. Variable could actually be a little different, and it will be because there was, when I filled this in, there was something, one of my kids paid me for something and I wasn't expecting that when I add it into this total. So that will change. So I can actually use the over under. So you know how I was talking about I would like the income to include an over under? So it does in the paycheck budget, it just doesn't in the actual monthly budget. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a change that's coming soon. So then the next thing I've done is I've got our expenses, and I've just listed them how, like I've just listed them, all of them. So, and I've got the amounts, and they're pretty much going to be the same. The only one that might change would be like gas or groceries or weekend fund or, you know, whatever. So I've listed them all, and then I have added a little bit of a cushion, even though it's not going to end up being a cushion because there's a bill that we have on auto pay that we haven't had to pay for a few months because we had it paid off, and then my husband used it. It's his credit card. He used his credit card when he went to Denver. So I asked him, I said, when we were having this budget meeting, I said, do we have to pay anything on your credit card? And I don't have access to that when I log in. So he looked and it said 0 due. So I thought, okay, it must be due next month. Well, then the reason why it said 0 due is because it was on auto pay and it had already taken that out and was processing, and he didn't catch it, or, you know, whatever, or didn't show that or whatever. So anyways, I didn't have that bill in here, and then yesterday I noticed, oh, that bill came out. So now I might have to rework some numbers or whatever. So this is pretty much not going to be a cushion because it's going to go to that bill plus some, but it'll work out. So I've got all of my expenses, and then I would basically, what I do is I just add all of our income, and then I start subtracting. And then all of these bills are taking up all of our income for this particular pay period. And we had to buy airfare, Liberty needed spending money, yada, yada, yada. But in a perfect world, whatever was left after you paid all your bills and met all of your needs would either go to savings or it would become your debt snowball. So unfortunately for this paycheck budget, we had neither. So that's how it would work. This is just my little list of what I needed for sinking funds. And then I still have room to do my third paycheck budget here, and then I'm still going to have this side of the notebook page to use whatever I use it for, whatever I need, and then I'll just take this extra one out, and then this will become the August budget, and then we'll be into August. I still don't know how I'm going to use these. This might be some kind of tracker. I'm not sure yet. I need to figure that out. But that's basically it, guys. It's a pretty simple system, but it really does work. If you use it the way it's intended to be used, then it really is helpful, and it really does help keep you on track. And it also is helpful because when my husband asks me questions, I can say, let me just pull out my budget binder and look in it and see. And he has access to this. He can look at this whenever he wants to. You guys know, well, maybe you don't know if you're new to my channel, but he does work out of town for 4 weeks at a time, so he doesn't necessarily see this, but sometimes I send him pictures. You know, we make it work for us. So if you guys have any questions, leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. One thing I will say about this book cloth is it does kind of seem to attract a little bit of lint, or maybe like if you have little pieces of paper on your desk or whatever, it attracts it. But it wipes off pretty easily, and I think you could use a lint roller. So I have updated the links in my description box. They are affiliate links now. They don't cost you anything extra, but basically if you looked at this setup and you say, oh, that setup might work for me, I want to try that, and you use my affiliate links to purchase these products, I get a kickback from that. And the nice thing about that is it helps to support my channel, and it allows me to bring you guys new products that I can show you. So I appreciate it if you guys use my affiliate links. That would really help me out. And then there's also, if you're new to Erin Condren, there is a link for you to click that saves you $10 off your first purchase. I think that's about it, guys. I am having a great time with this YouTube thing, and I don't plan to stop anytime soon. So thanks for your support, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.